Welcome into PressBox Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles of PressBox and PressBoxOnline.com. And you're about to watch a pretty good time of talking baseball with my partner, Ross Grimsley, who's with me every Monday night, and our friend Boog Powell, who is down in Key West, Florida. But first, I got to tell you a little bit about the Costas Inn and get Boog's mouth watering because he was just lamenting that he hasn't had a blue crab in a while. The Costas Inn. We all know the Costas Inn is the preeminent place in Baltimore to get your steamed crabs, your crab cakes, your crab soup. They've got specials every night of the week, things like steaks, chicken dishes, all kinds of fish dishes. Costas Inn, it's a marvelous place over 4100 North Point Boulevard. They have stepped up during the pandemic their curbside game. And here's all you have to do is go to their website, CostasInn.com, CostasInn.com. You can order your food, pay for your food, and when you pick it up, you don't even have to get out of your car. They'll bring it to you, and it's all packed immaculately. The Costas Inn, where you can get your crab fix at home. Ross, how are you, old left-hander?
Doing good, buddy. All things good here.
All right. What do you got to say about this guy that we've got on tonight?
Well, I got one thing I got to ask you. I got to make sure your outside bar is repaired.
Oh, it's repaired, and it's well stocked. The only problem that I had, the little hurricane we had down here, I lost my power for like 12 hours, and my beer got warm in my little freezer.
Oh man, nothing worse than warm beer.
Yeah.
Hey, how did you get hit pretty hard in Key West?
We got about 100-mile-an-hour winds. It wasn't bad. I lost a couple of fruit trees. I lost a mango tree. I lost a key lime tree. That's just nothing. And the house fared well. I'm just stunned at what happened up in Fort Myers and what happened to those people up there. Man, they got smoked.
Yeah, they got devastated. I've got an old friend of mine that I go visit every year. He used to be a waiter at the Prime Rib in Baltimore, and I used to go visit him before the pandemic. About 4 straight years, I would go up there during an Oriole off day in Sarasota and visit him, and we'd go to the Fort Myers beach, the bars and the shops, and he tells me this is right by Pine Island. He tells me that's like gone. It's just gone.
That's where both of my granddaughters were, on Pine Island, and their mother too.
Yeah,
they were gone from there when this thing hit. But all of their friends, and they made a special trip to Pine Island, bringing food and supplies and all of that for their friends, and it was pretty ugly. They didn't lose anybody that they know of.
Okay.
But it was really ugly.
Does this get old now to you, being down there? I mean, are you sort of, is it water off a duck's back or something like that? Or is it really play at you how dangerous these hurricanes can be?
It plays on you. There's no way it can. When you look at what happened up there in Fort Myers, and that storm passed about 40 miles to the west of us.
Right.
We didn't get the storm. But it was only about 100 when it was down here. But it was 150 when it was up there, and it just leveled everything. I mean, and that could happen here.
Yeah.
It makes you realize, I got a beautiful home here. I've had it since 1979 when we built it. It's built with all the latest hurricane tie downs and all the restrictions and all the things that you need to make it a safe place. Plus, I just got a new roof this year, but still, that storm came through here at 150. I'd be hurting right now. There's no doubt.
Water surge would get you.
Water surge will get you. We had about 4 feet up in my yard. I live right on the water down here, and we had about 4 feet up in the yard, and that area where the salt water came in there just killed the grass. So
unreal. Yeah.
I saw this guy on MSNBC, Ali Velci, who was down there, And he was making the point that I'd never heard during a hurricane. He didn't say it was like the water came in. He just said the ocean became part of the territory.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. In this particular storm only had like a 4-foot surge, but we had Wilma back in 2005, and we had 9 feet above sea level here.
Right.
Storm itself was nothing.
Right.
But
the surge.
But the surge was 9 feet, and it came 2 feet from coming in my house. And I didn't lose much. I lost my air conditioning units outside. It covered them up, but yeah, that's just stuff that happens. And that's the price you pay for living in paradise.
Yeah. Really.
That's about it. Really. That's what it boils down to.
Boog, let me turn to a more pleasant thing. You haven't been up in Baltimore a lot since the pandemic. You were up for your bobblehead day.
Yep.
And I know the Orioles ran your racket because so many different people wanted to see you, different, people up in the club section, all that. But you had about 600 or 700 people waiting in line at Boog's Barbecue that day to see you. What did that mean to you?
I felt, well, naturally I was honored and I was humbled, and that many people were hanging out, and I felt bad that I couldn't get to them all to sign a bobblehead and to just say hello to them. And it's great seeing you, and welcome to Boog's, and doing the Boog Powell thing that I do out on the street. And I couldn't get to everybody.
Funny,
So,
Ross and I never have that problem.
No.
Because we got like 3 or 4 people trying to say hello to us. I was amazed, Boog, at that line out there. And I want to say something. We're good friends, but
right.
Nobody in the Oriole organization should ever underestimate what an ambassador you have been for that ball club through thick and thin. You are the guy with the public touch. All of us talk about the team, and people talk to us when they see us at a bar or a restaurant. You are out there every day for 25 years. It's 23 years. It's pretty remarkable what an ambassador you are for Orioles baseball.
Well, actually, if you want to really consider it, I was more like, how long has that place been open? 30?
Opened in 92. So it's 30 years. That's right. This is 30. So you were
I-
there for 26 or 27 years.
28 years.
Yeah. You were at every game for 28 years.
And it became part of my psyche. It became part of me, because when I went out there, and I enjoyed standing there, and at first it was kind of intimidating because I didn't know what to expect. And then all of a sudden, we started doing the autograph thing, and started doing this and doing that, and started playing around with everybody that came through the line. And I think when they left there, their bellies were full and they had a smile on their face.
Right.
And that's what I wanted.
That's exactly what happened there.
That's exactly what I wanted.
You sat there and you talked to everybody. I've seen it enough times. You didn't. Nobody got away.
Sometimes it was challenging, and if it was raining or if this and that and blah blah blah, I wouldn't stand in the rain and sign autographs.
Right.
But I would duck underneath some cover or something, and I was always doing something silly out there.
And in the early years, Boog, when you said you were intimidated at first, in the early years, from 5 o'clock or 5:15 on till about 8:15, it was nonstop because there were 3.4 million people out there every year.
That's right. We had no idea what was going to happen out there. And Aramark, who was the concessionaire at the time, didn't have any idea that we were going to do anything like that. And so, you just never know. And I had the pretty good idea, and I thought that the product would sell and it was good.
Right.
And wanted to make sure that it was good. And I stayed on top of it pretty well.
I don't
You
think
still have the
people-
place in Ocean City, Boog?
No, we closed Ocean City up 2 years ago, just before the pandemic hit.
Right,
And
right.
perfect timing.
Yeah,
I mean, that would have been no place to have a business like that,
yeah,
you know, in the summertime. So,
right.
and Jay running that anyway, my son,
Yeah,
and he's in Ocala now, and he's on his way down here, as a matter of fact.
Well, you know, I don't think people understood. They know that you put time into the place and that you were there every day and you signed autographs, but that product had to pass Boog's standard of taste and
Yes,
excellent.
Yes,
Talk
it did.
talk a little bit about that, how you developed the rub and all that stuff.
Well, the executive chef his name was Russell Zeckley. And Russell, I went into Russell's office one day and he says, well, what are we going to do? I says, I don't know, you're the chef. And so I said, this is what I do and this is what I like to do. And he said, okay, let's work around it. And so what are we going to do for a menu? We looked at everything you can imagine, different cuts of beef, pork, ribs, every kind of thing you could think of. And let's just keep it with pork and turkey. I mean with pork and beef. And we did that starting off, and we got swamped. I mean, the opening day, we had probably 300 pounds of meat ready, and we were sold out by the time the game started. And as time went on, the hardest thing for us to do was to keep people from being in that line for too long. That line was a good thing.
Yeah.
But if you've got to be in that line for 20 minutes or something, I didn't like that. So we started getting some more cashiers. So next thing you know, we got 5 cashiers and we got people moving. We got 2 lines moving through. And I went to a central point where I could get everybody coming at me from both sides. And regardless of what you had or what you had on, I would sign it and just go on. And people they got into it. And I got into it too.
I know you did.
yeah.
I mean, I used to, if I was depressed, all I needed to do was go out to Boog's for 15, 20 minutes and watch the love affair. And it was just a beautiful thing to watch, how you entertain people and how much they love you, you know.
Well, yeah, I saw you and Ron over there sitting there talking about me while I was doing.
Oh, we were talking. Yeah. And we also were eating too.
Yeah.
We were eating.
Thank goodness for Annie.
Yeah.
You know, my girl Annie, she's been with me for 25 years, and the general manager of the stand itself. And she hires all the people and fires the people, and she knows exactly what I want. Even though I'm not there every game, I get reports almost every single day of what we did that night and how the product was. And I talk to her almost every single night.
Well,
So
Boog, I know you also, I don't know why they waited so many years to do it, but it probably had something to do with John Angelos and his vision. He had you down in 2019. You were doing it at Sarasota, and the place, and it might have been 18, might have started it, but the place was swamped with people the first couple of years. I think it was 18 you started there. With the pandemic, and I'm not saying it's entirely over, but with the prospect of things really returning to normal next year, is there a shot you do Sarasota?
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's in the works, and we're just, we're just waiting for things to get over, like, the series and the playoffs and all of that. I know all of the Oriole people are busy doing their yearly evaluations of talent, et cetera, et cetera. And there was some discussion about going down there, and we need some supplies that come from Baltimore
Yeah.
Like my rub, McCormick makes my rub. I've already talked to them. I've got the rub. And I think we're going to do it. I'm
Okay.
not sure, but I think we're going to do it.
All right. Is there a chance, and I know, I'm 70 and I know are you 80 now, Boog?
I'm 81.
You're 81. Well, you look great. You look better than you did when you were 70. Is there a chance that next summer you'll be back up, on a partial schedule?
It's in the process. We're talking about it.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. We got a little bit of a scoop going here. We're not publicizing it, but it sounds like there's a possibility. Let me tell you something.
I don't think
They're going to
I don't-
draw next year. They drew this year, Boog. They went from 793,000 people in 2021. This year they drew almost 1.4. And I think next summer, if the team is in contention, they can draw 1.7 to 1.9. And then you're talking about having to feed a lot of people. And that's your job, man.
But yeah, we're ready. And I want to talk to the Orioles and get something going to where I come up there and I'm more a part of it than I was like this year. And I was up there a couple of times this year, but I think maybe 4 or 5 times over the course of the summer.
Yep.
Been for one homestand and then come back to Key West.
Yep.
And go
That's
fishing.
good.
And Rob, come
Damn
on
it.
and bring Bird with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
And
you could have Ross,
Right?
you could have Ross out there signing with you.
Yeah.
Boy, that would add a lot of people, wouldn't it, Boog?
Oh, yeah.
I'd come do it.
Oh, heavens, yeah.
But
Hey,
I'd rather have Bird's autograph than yours.
I know. Really, most people would.
I'm just
No,
Boog,
I know. That's
Boog,
fine.
you are without a doubt a people person. Has
No,
this
son,
been
yes.
tough for you the last 3 years?
in regards to just hanging out stuff
In
here.
regards to just not being up at that ballpark for 70 games or 75 games,
Yeah, every now and then I'd wake up, I'd take a nap in the afternoon, I'd get up and I better get dressed. I got to be at the ballpark a little
Right.
while. And I know Ross did that too. At
Oh,
the end,
yeah.
after the season's over and, about 4 or 5 days after it's over, you wake up in the morning, oh, man, I got to get to the ballpark.
Right.
That's just the way we are. We're creatures of habit, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, a question about baseball. I know you watched some of the games this year. Well, how much different was it watching a team that started to be capable of winning some ball games, Boog?
Oh, it was most entertaining. And a couple of guys, the shortstop, he was incredible.
Yeah.
And I watched him and
The new catcher, Rutschman.
starting was Gabby Hayes. I like Gabby.
Yeah.
And I really thought a lot of him. And he tapered off, but he had it going early before he got hit a couple of times in the hand and all of that. But
Yeah.
I like we got a nice lineup. I mean, it's pretty. And Santander, come on, that guy had a hell of a year.
Yeah.
And
wait until they get Grayson Rodriguez up there this year.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I haven't even seen him yet.
Yep. And I tell you one thing about Grayson. I've seen him up close. I bet he could put away a couple of those sandwiches, Boog.
What? Of course. Makes your fastball go from 95 to 100.
That's right. That's right. If you put a little horseradish on it, it makes.
And you put some pepper sauce on there, it'll go to about 105.
There you go. Hey, Boogie, you think, when they moved the fences back in left field, what were your thoughts on that?
That's a good question.
I really thought it was a good thing. If I would have been a ball player, I'd have went boo hiss. I mean, you know, left center for me, 360 and right center for me. You know how many 400-foot fly balls I hit
Right.
Memorial Stadium? And the guys pitcher, I knew they were pitching me away, and they'd let me hit, 400 foot dead center, and you almost got it all.
Yeah, hang with them.
Every
Well,
day-
the pitching, the pitching was a big thing this year. And when they moved the fence, I made this comment, and Stan, you were with us. We were out in Pappas, and I made that comment about moving the fences back. If they ever want to be competitive with the other teams in that division, you're going to have to do that because it's just unfair. But they went from leading the league in home runs from 2017, 18, 19 to about 7th or 8th. They cut their walks down. So obviously you're going to be more aggressive if you're not going to get dinged. And, so I really think that made a tremendous difference. The starting pitching, once that gets a little more improved, they're going to be a team to contend with. Now, how soon that's going to be, maybe a couple years.
Well, as far as the pitchers go, you had to be real careful all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, now if you hit one out in left center, you can't be messing around. You hit it all because it ain't going. And how many home runs did they say that would have been last year, this year? I bet there was.
Yeah. Well, they give up 171 this year. I think in the past it was 260 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it made a difference. And it also makes a difference, like I said, you become more aggressive as a pitcher, and you're not afraid to throw more balls down the middle.
That's right.
When you get behind the count. But then you cut your walks down, and that's another thing that was huge. So I think they made a great move doing that, and it made a big difference as it shows.
I think the pitching got helped by a confluence of things. I think the moving the fences back helped. And Lord knows, Boog, you've seen good catchers and you've seen some bad catchers. It's tough to knock people, but Pedro Severino may be one of the worst catchers I've ever. I mean, Palmer during games would go, "Geez, whiz, can he catch the ball?"
He needs his eyes checked.
The position is called catcher. It's the one job you got is catch the ball.
Pat Dodson used to say that guy's got a ram's head in his glove.
Yeah.
That's why the ball doesn't stay in there. It goes
He had
in
an ejecto mitt.
Well, this guy Rutschman really is a good catcher.
Oh, he's special.
Yeah, he's very special.
No doubt. I mean, that was, in my admiration of the Orioles, I should have thrown him in there too. I was really impressed. He's got, from the left side, he's got a prettiest swing as you're going to want to see.
Yeah. I
mean, he follows through as good as any left-hand hitter I've ever seen. I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm hard to impress too.
Do you think he can? Do you think he can hit enough from the right side to? I mean, it's clear they're not looking to play him 150 games at catcher. He's going to play about 115, 120 games at catcher and DH a bunch. But do you think he can hit right-handed, Boog?
I think they're going to have to get some kind of track record. They're going to have to see. They're going to have to find a left-hander that they think he can hit and put him in there against them.
Yeah.
I mean, he helps your pitching staff so much behind the plate. It really, I'd say it doesn't matter if he gets a hit or not, but it does. But I mean, from the right side, he just wasn't quite as crisp. But I mean, it's not a bad swing.
Right.
But it's a little slower. Then the swing from the left side has got a lot of pop.
A lot of pop, and it's on time. It's on time.
And do you try to sign him now? Lock him up?
I would.
That's
but we got him.
Oh yeah. No,
I have him. I mean, as a player.
No, that seems to be the thing some of these teams are doing. They're signing the young players to multi-year contracts. So
I would.
The Braves are doing that left and right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boog, I want to ask you about one player who I find really frustrating to watch because I think he's got such amazing athletic talent and he's got bat speed for days, as they say, is this Ryan Mountcastle.
Oh, yeah.
But he seems like he goes up to the plate and gets himself out rather than forcing the pitcher to get him. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. And he gets in a situation where he guesses swing. And and it doesn't matter what you throw, doesn't matter if
Right.
fourth,
He's swinging.
he's swinging. But at some point, you have to get to a point to where you keep your hands back so much. You can stride if you want to, but keep your hands back and adjust. I mean, on every pitch. Sometimes you got to sell out. There's so many guys throwing 100 now. I mean, everybody's throwing 97, it seems like. And I mean, for me to hit Nolan Ryan, I mean, I hit him pretty good, but I had to start swinging when he was still in his windup. I'm not kidding. I mean, knew that he was going to throw me 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and I knew that I was going to be on it. Whether I hit it or not, I don't know. But he was going to hit it by me.
Let me ask you a question. Now, you made the comment, and we see it and we hear it all the time. These pitchers, that ball was 99 miles an hour. That ball was 90. That was 102. Now they're saying that these guys are throwing the same as Nolan Ryan threw. I just find that extremely hard to believe.
Well, I never faced anybody that threw harder than him.
Yeah, really.
I did Steve Delkowski,
Yeah.
but that was the minor leagues. I mean, he threw like 110 something.
Right.
So, but Nolan, and the worst thing about Nolan Ryan was that he had a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but he would rather strike you out with a curveball.
When that curveball fell off the table.
A 3-2 curveball, and watch just have a hemorrhage.
Yeah.
Your back was trying to stop. Your bat was trying to stop, and strike.
One of the ugliest. He struck. I don't know if you were there when he threw the no-hitter in Anaheim, and he threw Elrod after 5 fastballs. He threw him a 3-2 breaking ball with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
He took it. Weaver goes, "You got to be swinging."
What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
And he struck me out in the World Series in '69 with a 3-2 curveball, and I just waved at it. I mean,
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, when I got traded to Cleveland, and he was with the Angels, we had a 3-2 count in Anaheim, and it was 3-2, but I only had 2 runners on. And he threw the hook, and I took him deep.
Oh yeah.
Hook.
I love that.
Bases, and I came back out there, and I was afraid to look out to the mound.
Yeah, really.
But I looked out to the mound, and he just went.
Oh yeah.
He tipped his hat. He tipped his hat at you.
You got me. You guessed right.
Yeah, I mean, but I think I read somewhere that my lifetime stats against him, I hit right at 300. I hit 6 home runs. He struck me out 26 times. So what?
Yeah, really. I got him 6 times.
I mean, but
I think Belanger got him 4 or 5 times, didn't he?
Blade loved hitting off.
He
it.
loved
Yeah.
hitting off of Nolan Ryan.
Never got that.
Yeah.
I was, how are you doing that?
I hit off of him in spring training one time, and I stuck the bat out, and it fouled. Anyway, I ended up striking out, of course.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I walked back, and I looked at guys on the bench, and I go, "How do you guys hit this guy? I can't see the ball. If it's at you, I'm dead." It was the hardest thing I ever, and that was my point. I asked you that. I can't believe that all of these guys are throwing Nolan Ryan speed. That's almost unbelievable. And I know they gun the pitchers different now than they did back then.
Yeah.
And supposedly Ryan has thrown the hardest ball, I think, back in 1974. If they would have used the way they're gunning them now back then, he's got the hardest thrown pitch.
I believe that.
I do too. I mean, I just have never seen anybody throw a ball like that.
And the bad thing about it is that he would grunt while he was doing it. And then, right back at him, when you're swinging, and you didn't have anything but air. I didn't get cheated. I did not get cheated, and I hit a couple of legitimate home runs off of him. Yeah. I mean, on some legitimate fastballs.
Oh yeah, no,
I had the dial turned over to 10.
Yeah.
Got it down just about that much. So I didn't hit the top part of my bat. I hit it right in the middle.
How far away from Nolan Ryan at his best was Dean Chance? Was Chance in that ballpark at all, speed-wise?
No.
How about his motion? Did it make it tougher to pick up?
Motion was, it was kind of deceptive because he turned it back on you.
Yep.
And he had a really good slider. And he struck me out one night. He struck me out 4 times. Dean Chance. Every one was a fastball right at my neck. And that was my first year in the big leagues. Mm-hmm. He was with the Angels, and he just went out there and he bam, 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 bam. And I swung every time. And that was the last time that happened though. I can't remember him striking me out another time because really? I learned that day how to it's kind of hard to but I had an area that I looked at, and if the ball was over that area, like over his chest, when he let it go, I'd let it go. So, but when I saw it, and I just learned to lay off of that pitch. Not totally. I mean, I would sell out once in a while and just look silly.
Booger, now everybody swings at that ball.
I know.
Well, what's the? I don't understand that. What?
I know. And those 30 ounce bats, 31 ounce bats, and they're 34 inches, and they're like
balsa wood.
Yeah. No, the wood's good.
Yeah.
Really good. Some of them are using hickory. Some guys are using some guys are using cherry. And the most popular is maple. It's furniture grade maple. Is really a hard wood.
And I want to ask you something about the game. We're about to change next year. We're going to do away with the shifting. But if you had been hit with shifts during the middle of your career, back in our days, Boog, the only player they shifted for was Ted Williams, really. That was the only guy you ever read about who shift. But if they had started shifting to you, what would you have done to attack it?
I wouldn't have been afraid to drop one down and hit one over there. I would try to hit the ball to left, and I was pretty good at it. I was pretty good at dragging my hands through the strike zone if I had to. And I wouldn't have been afraid to drop one down over there. You don't have anybody over there? I'll take it. And then all of a sudden, all of us do that 4 or 5 times, and they're going to put somebody over there.
How much did and I know you talked to him and he had a little bit of an ego issue, Chris Davis, but he wasn't a bad guy. How much did the shift kind of destroy his psyche to be successful?
Not as much as he did with his swing, carrying his hands with him. Because when he started his stride, he would bring his hands with him in here, and you can't swing from in here. You have to swing from back out here somewhere. But he got into that rut, and they would throw him anything, and he would roll over on it and hit you just the prettiest little ground ball to the second. And that it's a lot deeper. It's a lot deeper than just the shift.
Okay.
And if I would have had the shift, I can't say 100% what I would have done, but there were some clubs that played me that shifted on me when I was with Cleveland. There were some clubs that it did. And
Does that mean that clubs that didn't, were they shiftless? The clubs that didn't shift on you?
yeah,
Hey, Ross, you got one or two more for your friend Boog Powell? And we'll
Well,
let him
you
go
know,
watch the Yankees and the
Oh, yeah.
Guardians and the Yankees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real quick, Boog. They're gonna do some what we talked about, the shift, but some of the other rule changes. Which this one kills me, but the bigger bases. I find that just absolutely silly. But
I love it.
the pitch clock for the pitchers. I think that's I can't believe they're not doing it anyway, working quicker. I mean, it keeps your defense on their toes and keeps the hitter a little defensive. I don't know why they just don't they teach that anyway. But how do you see these rules affecting the game?
Well,
Or will it?
I watch guys every time they try to steal a base, or they can't hold on to the base, and there's nothing to hold on to. I mean, and you should have something to hold on to. It's just that they got cameras in them and they got all kinds of stuff, bases, everything else, and they're only like 2 inches high, it seems like. And I kind of like the old ones that were like, I'm not sure what they're going to go to, but I hope they go kind of back to the old ones, not the real puffy pillow ones.
Yeah.
A little bit bigger base. I think that's good. I think the shift thing is taking a big portion of what a lot of hitters are about, and it's taken a lot of the defense out of the game. I mean, if you got a shortstop playing short right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Good stuff. Good stuff. One more, Ross?
Go ahead. That's well. I mean, the playoffs. I mean, obviously, that's another thing that's been talked about. We got 12 teams in the playoffs now.
Good Lord.
And really, and the majority of them have been eliminated.
Yeah.
You got Philly and San Diego who have came on. Cleveland or New York's Yankees are the only team that won them. Well, them in Houston, obviously.
Yeah.
But how do you see? I mean, they talk about the layoff having an effect, and I'm going. I think knowing that you're going to have the layoff, there's stuff you can do to prepare for the games. And that using that as an excuse the way I find that baloney.
I do.
What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
Let's get it going. Let's keep it going. I'm hot. We're all moved. We're all in game condition, game shape. And if I have to play every day, who gives a crap? That doesn't mean we play every day most of our life anyway.
Right.
I hated that thing with the Yankees and the Guardians when they played Tuesday night, then they took off day 2, and then they got rained out day 3. I thought it was really, I don't like that. The series.
And it doesn't do anything but hurt. It hurts.
Yeah.
And that at that time, the Yankees, they had a big lead. Like that one year, what was it? It was 69. We won 109 games,
right,
or something like that. And we were flat when we came in because, we won the pennant by 19 games. In 19 days before the season was over, we were clinched. You really didn't have anything to play for. You just go out there and play for your own personal stats, because it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, you've already won. So you get into some bad habits, and I did, and some of our guys did. And, we weren't as sharp as we were at one point.
I got one last question to ask you, Boog.
All right.
And I know you're not following baseball every single day, but during this year, it looked to me like, boy, the Orioles are going to be better now. But boy, they play in the toughest neighborhood in all of baseball. You got the Yankees, Toronto, Tampa, Boston. And now I've watched these playoffs, and all of a sudden it doesn't look quite as daunting to me to envision the Orioles being back, being really relevant in the postseason. I like the Yankees, for
Agree.
example, they just don't scare me. They don't
Yeah.
scare me at all.
No, it's not. It's not with the 4 or 5 guys in a row coming up there to take you deep, and you got big problems.
Yeah.
It's a different lineup than that. And I can see the Orioles fitting into this picture next year.
Yep.
I really can. And if the pitching holds up, and I think it's going to get better.
Yep.
And we got 2 guys leading the league in stolen bases. And what else we got? We got all kinds of.
We got a lot of excitement around this team.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I'm going to be a coach somehow.
All right. Hey, we really appreciate your taking the time to visit with Ross and I. All right.
Well, it's my pleasure. It's always good to talk to you guys. And I'm sorry that I'm not there to go to Costas with you tonight. That's where you're going tonight, right?
No, I'm not going tonight, but I brought some crabs. I brought some crabs over to Gloria Gordon about 2 weeks ago.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's doing good. She's doing good. She misses her Dick, though. No question about it. Dick Gordon, I'm talking about there. Boog.
I'm not gonna,
Don't say anything. All right. I walked into that
That's
one.
beautiful.
I walked into that one. Hey, we love you, Boog, and we'll
all right,
talk to
brother.
you.
Love you too.
We'll
Take
talk
care,
to you
buddy.
soon.
Miss Bird
Ross?
says hi.
All
Bird
right.
says hi.
All right. It's great talking to you guys. We also thank our friends out at the Costas Inn for supplying those crabs.
Absolutely.
All right. Nobody does it better than the Costas Inn. Hey, Gary Stein and I will be on Thursday night. We're talking to Charles Kithgart about a very interesting story. He's African-American, and he is trying to create an African-American sailing team that's going to build an America's Cup ship in Baltimore. And it's quite an interesting story.
Wow.
We'll look forward to that.
What a
Boog.
job. Wow.
Boog, we'll talk soon. Stay well.
All right, brother.
All
Later,
right.
buddy.
All right.
Jane and Bird and everybody, love you guys.
I love
Love
you
you too,
too.
man.
Bye. All right. We're out of here. Ross and I will be back next Monday night. I guarantee you, Ross, we won't have as much fun as we did tonight.
We'll try to figure it out somehow.
All right. Take care.
All right, man.
Bye.
See you
Bye-bye.
guys.
Bye.